Good morning. My name is Maryanne Tagney Jones, and I know that you know that if you see me up here, I'm going to ask you for money. But this is the last time I'll be doing this ask, so give big, make me look good. Now I'm going to go back to the script and stop frightening the staff. Okay. Once upon a time, which was 1997, I joined the board of Land Conservancy of Seattle King County. A few years later, we became Cascade Land Conservancy. Many more years passed, and now here we are as Forterra. So what does Forterra do? I could start listing all the good things it does, and I could tell you why those good things are good things, and I could drone on, and then after my 8 minutes were up, you'd wake up, and then you would put a check in the envelope because you're good people, and then sit through the rest of the program and leave. But I want you to feel why this work is important, because we can know stuff all we want, but it's how we feel about it that impels us to action. So, 50 plus years ago, we won't go into the plus, my sisters and I, growing up in a city about the size of Seattle, used to walk to school along a dirt road called the Lane. It was a shortcut behind the houses of our neighborhood, which were built before people had cars. There were sheds, many of them converted into garages, along one side. And on the other side was the monastery garden. Our school was a Catholic school, attached to a Catholic church, run by Franciscan priests and monks. And they grew much of their food in that garden. It was surrounded by huge trees and tall hedges, and the elderly monk who tended the vegetables grew flowers as well, and he let wildflowers run through the hedgerows. I remember creeping through a gap in the hedge into this beautiful, peaceful place, hiding from the monk, who I'm sure knew we were there, and looking for slow worms in the grass. Slow worms are not even worms, or very slow. They're actually a legless lizard native to the UK. You learned something. Okay, this felt like a magic world to us, and when on one of my trips back to visit family, I found that the garden was gone, the trees, the hedges, the slow worms, all gone, paved over to make a parking lot because now people drive to the church and the school instead of walking. It was such a shock, and I felt real sadness and loss. Fast forward 25 years, and we were living in Preston in the Snoqualmie Valley. And one of the gathering places for the children of the community was a big rock, a very big rock. And the children would climb up the sloping backside of the rock and sit on the top with their legs dangling over the side. That was the sharp side, eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and surveying their domain. They would just sit there. The rock is still there, but our children were part of the last generation to gather there because it was on privately owned land, and the owner, as was his right, built 3 houses on the land and closed off access. When I revisit that community, part of me still expects to see a cluster of 10-year-old conspirators on top of that rock, gazing out at a world that they didn't know would change. So we lose the magic places of our childhood, or we lose access to them, and we tell ourselves, it's inevitable, it's progress, what can you do? But there are things you can do, and Forterra does them. Think back to a place that you loved as a child, a backlot that grew wild with moon daisies and blackberries and garter snakes in the woodpile, a pond where tiny frogs sang all the spring night. Think of a place that was magic to you, with trees you could climb, wild places to explore, a place to jump into cold water while your parents clucked and fussed on the shore. Can you still get to that lake or river or beach? Is there still a garden behind that tall hedge? The thing that makes Forterra different from many other land conservation organizations is that it looks for ways to allow communities to grow and develop while still protecting or providing the places that are important to us and that will be important to our children and grandchildren. That monastery garden was once a field or a forest before the monks came. Fields, forests, gardens, things change, but until they are paved over, they are not lost. We all need places to live, places to work, schools, stores, restaurants, speaking for myself, opera houses. But without green places, wild places, open space, somewhere to grow things, something in the human spirit crumples. I won't say it dies because it just creeps off to a far corner of our souls And then one day we turn a corner or drive over a hill and we see a valley or a forest or an estuary. And that crumpled corner of our spirit unfurls. It unfurls its wings and says, yes, I remember this. Behind me, you should be getting photographs. We should be seeing photographs any minute now of the children and grandchildren of the people in this room. So what do we want for them? I know in speeches like this, we always say, it's for the children. Well, these are the children. These are not stock photos. Every child you see up on the screen is part of the Forterra family. These are the children and grandchildren of staff members, board members, and friends of Forterra. And by giving to Forterra today, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by pictures. That's my granddaughter. And that's my other granddaughter, sorry. And by giving to Forterra today, we are giving them the chance to stand here 50 years on and say, there was a garden, it was a magic place, it's still there, and I will take you there. My grandson. And now it is time to cut to the chase, and for the table captains to distribute the donation cards that are in the green envelope on the table. As you get your card, there should be a big noise now. People distributing things, getting out checkbooks and pens, okay? And as you look at your cards, you will see printed on them a letter from a little girl called Anna who collected money at her birthday party to send to Forterra so we could buy more trees. That is just amazing and fantastic, and I don't know if Anna's picture is up here, but it certainly should be. We are very happy to have Anna on our side. We are also very happy to have Nick and Leslie Hanauer on our side, as they have made an extremely generous offer that they will match every gift made of $1,500 or more up to $25,000. And if you do become a member of the Conservation Circle at that level, $1,500, not only will you have the satisfaction of costing Nick and Leslie money, but you will get to go to really exciting events in very exciting places, which right now I can't tell you about because we haven't got the program out. But believe me, being a member of the Conservation Circle is fun in so many different ways. While you are filling in your check, if you happen to be the parent, grandparent, or good friend of any of the children whose photos appeared on the screen today, feel free, after you have written your check or filled in your credit card number, to point out to your fellow breakfasters how very beautiful, talented, and totally exceptional your children are. Because they are. Thank you for allowing us to feature them today. Thank you for showing up yet again in the middle of the night and in the middle of a very, very bad traffic mess out there. Thank you for doing everything that you do, and thank you for supporting Forterra today.